Hello dear users, my name is Anton Glinkin and today we will talk about why is the central library important and how to keep it healthy. Today we will talk about options to organize PCB libraries, what is a central library, library building blocks, organizing your library data, properties, demo, short demo, I will show you something, troubleshooting and third-party resources. So there are different approaches how to organize your PCB library. First of them and most obvious is user library. This is a small library usually stored in locations under user's direct control. There are some advantages. You can make with this library whatever you want without any bureaucracy. And this is very fast and efficient approach, but there is also disadvantages. There is no way to track quality of the library elements. These untracked components changes may be unnoticed during the design process. And possibility of users stepping on each other's work thereby will corrupt the data. There is also workgroup library. This is project-specific libraries to meet specific requirements. The advantage of this is ability to use an alternate version of part for a specific design. For example, boards that are built for RF design sometimes have specific footprints that are slightly smaller for high-speed signals when the width of the footprint pad is equal to the width of microstrip or strip line. Disadvantage of this, you need to spend more time. There are more library parts required to be monitored and updated. And PCB designers could possibly use an incorrect footprint if they are pointing to the wrong project library. And the third one, and most, I would say, advanced and efficient, is a corporate library. It's a master library that is used for all PCB designs in a company. The advantages is you always ensure that library data is correct and up to date. There are structured methods to track updates. Parts will not be overwritten by other users. And you can use it as a project library as well. The disadvantage of this is that individual users do not have right access to the corporate library, and it slows down design process while CAD librarian creates new library data. But what is a central library? A central library is a collection of interrelated libraries with a level of data integrity and consistency checking. A central library contains library management and control file. In Mentor graphics, it's called LMC, that maintains an inventory of contents. It is a single environment for library creation and modification. You can import and export library data between partitions within the same library or multiple central libraries. Most important thing is it enables correct by construction design. And good point is integration with all Siemens PCB tools. What are benefits of it? It provides a quick way to search and select components from any standard parts database. Enables remote design teams to access this corporate component information via web or intranet. You can be sure that optimal parts are selected. Eliminates redundancy by using generic graphical representation for similar parts. Reduces number of parts and cost for overall product. And it easily integrates with corporate component and MRP databases or with Siemens EDM library tools. Let's watch which blocks our libraries consist of. On the very bottom, we have a pad, a single geometrical shape that in combination gives us pad stack. Pad stack is a single pad of our future footprint that contains all information about copper, its shape, sizes, about solder mask opening, about solder paste parameters. When we combine a couple of pad stacks, we'll have a footprint. Footprint is our physical representation of PCB component. There are also logical representation called symbol. And you can also add some models like HDL, SPICE parameters, whatsoever. All of these combined all together will become a PDB file, part database. part database and parametric data that we can attach to it using standard tools. 3D model is the full digital twin of a component. On the pin assignment menu, we will combine logical pins and their physical representation, paths. If we take a look at the library as a file structure, and when we open our folder with central library, we will see couple files and folders. Main of it is centlib.prp, a text file that contains properties. There are couple folders that is basically simple partitions that contain our symbols. There are also pathstack.db.psk. This is file contain information about pins, paths, and path stack definition. There are also a couple folders with cells, part partitions, templates. Folder contains templates for our future layout. There are also can be IBIS models and analog models. So all relations between components, their names and locations are stored in LMC file. This approach provides integrity and consistency of library. Property definition. Properties are used to attach information to a component such as value, tolerance, and manufacturer part number. You can use the property definition editor to define the available properties and their format. There are predefined system properties as well as user properties. You can change default font, size, color, and other attributes. All parametric data that will be used in design is a property, so the property definition editor will update and manage the centlib.prp file in the central library folder. There are different approaches how to organize your library data. Symbol cells and parts should be or can be organized differently. You can create partitions within the library tools with a tool called partition editor. For example, symbols could be arranged by function like discrete, digital ICs, analog ICs. Cells could be arranged by type, surface mount, through-hole, BGAs. Parts could be arranged by function, capacitor, diodes, FPGAs, memory, resistors. On the screen, you can see the pictures, examples that made from my own central library. Project library can be found in the project directory inside the projlib subfolder. Instead of LMC extension, it has an LMP. Historically, project library was used for radio frequency, IOPT, and part-quest drag and drop data. Starting since VX 2.10, library tools can be used to manage the local data, including the custom parts, so you now can work with project library. You can use library services tools and EDX file to move parts to the main central library. If a part number exists both in the project library and the central library, project library will take precedence. As I said, you can use library services to move any CAD data, copy or move parts and associated cells, symbols, path stacks, paths, and holes. You can invoke library service from the tool menu and choose options: import from or export to another central library, encrypted HTTP file, project library, PCB, or package design. Library services can also be launched from layout. I already mentioned EDX file. So what is it? It is a standard format for the exchange of library, component, and design data. EDX format is independent of internal tool database structure. You can use file export EDX or file import EDX to create EDX file or import EDX file. There is also a tool called EDX Navigator, so you can see the contents of EDX file. Okay, let me make a pause at this moment, and I want to show you demo. Here is an example of central library file. Central library, sorry. As you can see, it consists of different partitions, parts, cells, symbols, paths, text, and so on. If I open parts, you can see a couple folders, and inside of it, you can see the components itself. As I told you previously, we can manage the user properties. You can also use external database to store information about additional properties. If I use this command, you will see example of external database usage. You can add additional properties to the different databases. For example, in this case, for capacitors, you can add value with units of farads and magnitude of pico, nano, or micra. Property definition editor window. Advanced. And here you can see that we have a couple system properties. Oh, sorry. In this case, we don't have any user properties, so we can add it actually. Let's say it will be company PN. You can choose different format and properties of it. Regular expressions, max number of characters, max number of lines, and so on. Also note that you can attach this property to the symbol, pin, or net, or nothing, and include select property in the property list for design entry, model editor, or part editor. Library services that I already mentioned can be used to move, copy, export, or import files and data between different objects like library databases or part data file. For EDX, you can use commands like file import EDX. Sometimes you may have problems with your library. Occasionally, properties are introduced into design that were not previously defined in CentLib PRP. This will result in non-common properties error. These non-common properties can cause problems in downstream tools, so they should be cleaned up. You can find them using the commands shown on screen, and to fix them using the command tools update other objects with properties checked. Please refer to the articles mentioned on the screen. Sometimes you can damage your library and it will need reindex process. This happens when PC software crashes or you made some modification of library files using your own tools, or you can occasionally delete or damage the completed parts. Usually these will be shown as an error messages like can't connect to the central library, couldn't determine central library type. How to fix this? Open Library Manager and create a new central library. Copy the central library to a local PC. Open its central library folder. Delete or rename sysindex CBF file. This is file that contains index. Substitute the good LMC that you created on step 1 for the one in the problematic library and rename this file to match its original LMC name. Close Library Manager and reopen it on original central library to start a reindex process. Fix any errors that will occur during the reindexing. Repeat steps until the reindexing is successful. Update the main central library with a newly reindexed library. And notify users of this library that there can be some potential updates so they can update their designs. How to update and keep the design in sync. The integrated flow in Expedition and Pass Professional provides a couple mechanisms to synchronize the design, schematic, layout, and library. You know this, it's called project integration, and it controls how schematic design passes information to or from the layout design. This process also provides methods to check the central library PDB changes and update design data accordingly. For example, symbol was updated in the library. So in schematic that uses that symbol, it will have a blue or pink box around the symbol. Just use tools update symbols to refresh. If symbol was moved from one partition to another, packager will not be working and will fail. Use the same command. If PDB was updated, it will also may fail packager because design may have use of data. Run packager with any option that is not only extracting missing library data, just to take all updates from the library to fix it. If cell or path stack was updated, select analysis, compare local library to central. This will check if you have this problem. And use project integration for auto annotation, or use echo update cells path stack, or echo replace cells. My good recommendation is to use part quest. It's very useful if you're a librarian or any related to library creation process user. It's very big web-based component research database. You can access a lot of different ECAD models with symbols, footprints, 3D model, etc. There is a good parametric keyword search, and you can search by value, part number, manufacturer, package. There are a lot of different options. And it has tight integration with all Siemens PCB design tools. Also, you may be interested in Optimum Design Associates starter library. It's pretty good library for beginner. There are more than 11,000 parts. It can be downloaded for free from the Optimum Design Association site or through the articles that shown on your screen. It's fully IPC compliant. If you have any questions, as usual, you can send me email and I will answer them. Now I will show you some slides with frequently asked questions. You may pause video at this moment to read the frequently asked questions. Thank you. That's it. Have a good time.